It's in the book of Lamentations. We don't hear much about that book, but it is a great book. And I want to read it to you. Lamentations 3:22 through 23. It is of the Lord's mercies, that's plural. We are not consumed because his compassion fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. Yeah. This passage answers a whole lot of questions for us. It says to us, it gives us a reason that we're still here. Give us a reason that we made it to the year 26. And he says, it's because of the Lord's mercies. His mercies. There are many mercies that contributed to you and I being here. Not that we had done all that God wanted us to do, or we had been merciful to others, or nothing like that. But it's because of his mercies toward us. We are not consumed. That's one. We are not consumed because of his mercies. And then he said, because his compassion fails not. That is, you can count on his compassion, his love, his covenant love. You can count on it. That we are not consumed because his compassion does not fail. Our compassion, you do a little something, and all of a sudden our compassion is through. I'm through with you. But he says his compassions do not fail. Do not let us down. Do not come short. And then he says, another thing that's kept us here that we didn't know about, that we take for granted, is that his mercies are new every morning. That people who say they don't know what to pray for, here's one thing you can wake up thanking God for. As your eyes wake up every morning, you ought to say, Lord, thank you for your mercies. Now, I wouldn't be lying, but thank you for your mercy. I was supposed to have been dealt with in a harsh way. But your mercy, and I've been used to your mercy. I've been dealing with your mercy, but it's new mercies. Because I have some new mess-ups. Yeah. So this word Lamentations is from the Hebrew word ikar, which means how. The first chapter in the book of Lamentations asked the question, how? I want to know what brought this about. Yeah. Now, what has happened is that, of course, you know what has happened, that Jerusalem has been destroyed, has been run over by the enemy. And like any disaster that happens to us, or that happens, our first question we usually ask is, how did that happen? How did it happen? You know, as we look at our government and we see Trump, the president, getting away with stuff, and you ask yourself the question, how does he get away with all of this? Yeah. How? But you know, one of the things is somebody's looking at you, wondering how are they getting away with this stuff that they do? Yeah. It's a natural response. How? How did it happen? Yeah. Why did it happen? Is God asleep? Is he not on the throne no more? Has he lost his power? Jeremiah writes this book in the midst of devastation. Jerusalem is ruined, and folk are hurt. They're asking God, why? How? And you and I ask the questions. Many times during the year, we'll find ourselves asking the question, how did this happen to me? And there's so many questions. Yeah. So many questions. How was I the only person that got fired? How was I the only person, even though I was more qualified? I just want to know how I got fired. Yeah. That question, how, is many times we asked it in the midst of our sicknesses. I don't understand how I got sick. Yeah. I exercise, I take my vitamins, and yet I know Joe Blow. Don't eat right, don't do nothing right, and he's skipping along fine. How? And so that's one of the big ruinacious questions that we find ourselves, like this book of Lamentations, asking why. Yeah. Why did it, and even better still, why did it happen to me? If the Lord needed somebody to put this on, I know some names I could give him. But anyway, how? So people are questioning in this text. That's what makes it so good. It makes it perfect for a New Year's Bible study. People are wondering how. And God sends Jeremiah to give the people hope. I find that really strange. You can say what you want to about the old preacher. You can say he ain't no good, this and that and that. But the thing is, whenever God wants to get a message to his people, he sends his preacher. Yeah. And so he sends Jeremiah, who is writing to a group of depressed people who are wondering why God, this how question really hurts us, because we say, yeah, I've done wrong, but I ain't done as bad as the people you sending to hurt me. They ain't no good. And so I want to take a look at the fact that God sends Jeremiah to give the people hope. I want to say something. Many times we feel like the new year, the passing of a calendar, makes things better. Ooh, I hope things are better things are gonna get better in the new year, And Jeremiah says, no, it's not the new year. It's gonna make things better. What's gonna make things better is something about God. Yeah. I know that his faithfulness fails not. Yeah. I got to know for myself that my New Year's resolutions ain't nothing. Put a little pressure on me, I'm through with the resolutions. I said I'm going to eat less. That's only for a few hours. That's hours. I'm cutting out sugar. That's only for a little while. But what I need is to know some things about God. That he's the one that I got to look to. Yeah. No words, no magic potions, no new routines. My hope is in God. Well, let's take a look at the fact of the proof that we're not consumed. The proof that we are not consumed. Proof for the power that brought us into the new year. God gave us the proof. Now here's what I mean. When you look at the fact that you made it, you walked into the new year, you came into it knowing you had done wrong and messed up and said things you shouldn't have, and yet God, some way or another, according to his new mercy, his grace, the fact that his faithfulness changes not, that you can count on him. And I want to say something here. How do you know God is faithful? The proof that he's faithful. Well, one of the things the psalmist says is the heavens declare the glory the greatness of God.
Yeah.
Have you noticed how the sun is faithful? It can rain, but the sun's gonna come out.
Oh, yeah.
It could snow, but the sun's gonna come out. I mean, it can be a hurricane, but the sun's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Nothing will deter it, nothing will stop it. It's going to come out again, and the sun's going to shine again, and it's going to rain again. I was just thinking just yesterday, as you look at the rain, and you look at the sun, I was telling Debbie, I said, she said, notice everything is so green now. Everything is green when it starts to rain. It's green, and that's because it's nitrogen in the rain, and the nitrogen causes everything to grow green. God is faithful. I mean, you can count on him. You can count on him. Listen to what he says. It is of the Lord's mercies we are not consumed. It is of the Lord's mercies. His compassion fail not. It shows God's power that no matter what happens, his mercies are still into effect. No matter what happens. What should have killed us help us to survive. We survive setbacks. We survive the prognostication of people who wish us bad and who've wished bad things to happen to us. But somehow we made it. You're living proof of God's power. Let me say this, everybody don't like you. I mean, everybody ain't pulling for you. There's some people who are working just as hard to see that you don't succeed. The proof of his power is you. The proof of his power. When you look at your own life, and that God has constantly and consistently brought you through. And you're here.
Yeah.
Despite what the doctor said, you're here. Despite others said you weren't going to make it, you're here.
Tough.
Death was supposed to wipe you out, but you're here. We endured what should have finished us. We didn't think we were going to make it, and others didn't think we were going to make it. But he kept us. We're here because God said, I got some more work for you to do. I'm not through with you yet. His power. You're the proof. You're the proof. With all the odds against you, you're the proof. With everything working against you, and you still came out on top. That's proof. And sometimes we feel that we're disappointed because things didn't work out like we wanted them to in our lives. It's just the year just didn't materialize. But this text suggests that instead of saying I'm going to be praying more, how about I'm going to thank him more? Just for the new mercies. Just for the new mercies. Just for the new mercies. Could have been cut off. Could have been cut down. Could have been cut out. But the new mercies have kept me here. Isn't that good news?
Yeah.
We are not consumed. Secondly, he says this, is because of the Lord's mercies, and I keep saying that's plural. Yeah. It ain't just one kind of mercy. Lord has waking up mercy, protection mercy.
Yeah.
You were supposed to have been cut off, but his new mercy stepped in. Said, not yet. And he says, it's strictly because of his mercies that you are not consumed.
Yeah.
And because his compassion fails not. One of the things we have to understand is when he talks about his compassion, he talks about his covenant love, his covenant. As God said, you're mine. His covenant love. We made a deal. And every time I think about that, I can't help but think about the fact that God's covenant love for us, the Abrahamic covenant, and that's so deep in that God made a covenant with Abraham, made a covenant with him. And what a picture that is of how they provided the covenant between two people, kill one animal and split him down the middle, and the two covenant parties would walk down the middle between them two animals, rubbing the animal's blood on each other, saying, if I mess up, may this same thing happen to me that happened to these animals if I let down my end of the bargain. And the fact is, the point is, God put Abraham to sleep. And saying, I know you, and know you can fulfill your part. Yeah. And God put Abraham to sleep and walked down between the two animals and said, with or without you, we got a deal. That's what makes God so real. You wondering, you saying, I let him down. And he said, I knew you were. Ain't no surprise to me. I knew you were going to let me down. I knew that.
You didn't tell me nothing.
Yeah, you didn't tell me nothing. And that's so real for us to believe sometime when, and honestly, when we think of the mercy of God and how he blessed us and looked after us and how we've let him down sometimes. And at the same time, we didn't keep our end of the bargain. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, people pray, Lord, if you just let me go this time, I promise you. No, you don't have to worry about me no more, not doing this. Not so. Not so. Because of his mercies, you're here. His goodness. His compassion fails not. He made a deal with you. He made a deal. And then, you know what? I couldn't help but think about the fact that when God makes a deal with you, it's a deal better than you deserve. But sometimes it hurts. Adam, you know, one of the first things God did when God put Adam, here again, first thing, he put Adam to sleep. Yeah. And made him a deal. I'm going to give you a bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh. I'm going to give you a woman made in your image. And yet, Adam couldn't keep his end of the bargain. One of these days I'm going to talk about why I'm in a selective audience. Yeah. Can you imagine you got an excuse as to why it didn't work out? And this was put together by God. This ain't, you know, it's a whole lot in that. Because of his mercies, we are not consumed in his compassion. Fails not. You know, I thought it's strange. The word for compassion here is rakam, which means the womb. The womb. It talks about the mother carrying the baby in her womb, providing for the baby in the womb. Tender, loving care in the womb. And what is so unusual is sometimes doctors tell us the baby poops in the womb. Sometimes. But that doesn't bother the mother. Because she's taking care of her baby. She loves her baby.
Yeah.
This is a picture of God in his mothering aspect. We know he's father,
Yeah.
but he's also mother. And he shows us that in the book of Genesis. In the book of Genesis, when Jacob's nurse died, and they were weeping so and crying so because she had been there with him. And they were crying, and the Lord appeared. They were so sad. The Lord appeared unto them and said to Jacob, I am God Almighty. I didn't appear because you lost a father. I appeared to you because you've been dependent on Deborah all these years. She's been the comforting breast you've been dependent on. And he said to him, I am God Almighty. In the Hebrew, that's El Shaddai.
Yeah.
Shad in the Hebrew means breast, the mighty breasted one. I am the one that's been like a mother that you could nurse from. This is God talking. So he's not only a father,
Yeah.
but God is a mother.
Talk.
That's good news. That's good news. And Jeremiah pulls one out of the stack and says, because of your compassion, your womb love, wait a minute, your unexplainable love, and no matter how bad we've been, you got to keep us in mind. These people know that God is getting them because of their evil doing.
Yeah.
They ain't crazy.
Disobedience. Yeah.
They know they've been disobedient. They know that. But they also know, and in spite of that, God still loves them.
Talk.
And he sends Jeremiah
Yeah.
to tell him it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. You know, I've started praying this year for the president.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I started praying for him. You know, sometimes you can be moved to, you're so hurt by what he's doing, people hurting,
Yeah.
getting put in jail for nothing,
Yeah.
then let out of jail for crimes.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. But when you can't do nothing else, you can pray about it. And so I want to encourage you pray for the president. I encourage you. I ain't gonna tell you what to pray.
I was just getting ready to ask you.
I'm not gonna tell you what to pray. But you need to pray for him.
Amen.
We about done had enough. So he says, we're not consumed. If anything you can look back over and be happy about, when you woke up this morning, woke up the first of the new year, and you were still here. You were still here. He said, be it known, because of his mercies, his compassion does not fail. It won't let you down. Great is thy faithfulness.
My God.
Steady is thy faithfulness. You can count on his faithfulness. And that's the one thing that I say this and I leave, but that's the one thing we have to say to ourselves when things look bad, when things look like we don't have a reason for why it's happening. You got to know, great is his faithfulness. You can always count on God. All right, I'm through.